Not a pretty sight. Black mold, cross-contamination, and bugs found in food.
And those are just a few of the violations we uncovered at popular restaurants in Asheville. But that won't keep them from getting an A grade from county inspectors. News 13's investigative reporter Mike Mason is live from downtown with this reality check on what's really going on behind the kitchen door. Mike.
Yeah, we found inspection reports at some of your favorite restaurants may not be the best indication of how clean that restaurant really is. The owner of Circle in the Square Pizza here in downtown Asheville hopes customers will realize this.
Oh, yeah. Let me get that out.
Peter Estrada has owned Circle in the Square Pizza restaurant in downtown Asheville for the past 10 years. Estrada says things were going great until recently when the tables turned against him. This past September, a Buncombe County food inspector gave his restaurant a score of 83.5, which is a B-. That's the lowest rating in the entire county.
It was kind of staggering to know that it was the lowest score, and it was, a wake-up call, obviously, but it was a shock because throughout my 10 years running restaurants in Asheville, I've had an average score of about 95.
A perfect score is 100. Anything with a 90 or above is considered an A grade. Currently, all restaurants in Buncombe County either have a grade of A or B. Most of the points deducted from Estrada's restaurant were for technical issues such as not having his paperwork in order.
You have a thermometer? Everything dated? Yeah, right on the outside of the door.
Other violations included not having food containers labeled properly, missing a required food thermometer, and using a piece of cardboard to replace a broken cover to the ice machine.
All right, I'll be right with you.
So does that low score mean this pizza place is the dirtiest restaurant in town? Not according to Estrada.
I would say it was unfair, and I need to be judged on the same criteria that every other restaurant is judged.
So we decided to see how inspectors judged other restaurants in Asheville. David Meese supervises county food inspectors.
When they're doing an inspection, we look at, one, whether it's reoccurring, and two, the severity of it.
We checked out Homegrown, a popular local restaurant on Merriman Avenue. Last month, they received a score of 95. Inspectors noted they did not have food containers properly labeled. In fact, Homegrown was cited for this twice during their last 3 inspections. But each time, the inspector did not deduct any points. Circle in the Square, however, was written up for that same violation in September, and the inspector deducted 1 point.
Obviously, I don't feel it's fair.
Is that fair?
I wasn't there, and we rely on our staff to use their best professional judgment when they're in the field.
This past March, an inspector also noted Homegrown was in violation for having food stored below exposed sewer lines in the basement.
That doesn't mean that there was sewage dripping onto the food. What it means is that our rules prohibit food being stored below exposed sewer lines.
But it's cited because
our rules prohibit that.
It could happen.
Correct.
Otherwise it wouldn't be there, right?
Correct.
The owner of Homegrown tells us the line wasn't active and has since been capped off. Mela Indian Restaurant on North Lexington Avenue received a score of 96.5 last month. During their last 3 inspections, Mela was written up for not having food containers labeled properly. Each time, no points were deducted. Estrada doesn't understand why he was docked a point for the same thing.
How could one restaurant be, cited for it and the other one's not? Especially if they have to repeat offenses. It just makes no sense.
I can see where they would think they were being picked on, possibly, but I was not there to witness the inspection in either of these cases.
This past May, an inspector also noted the ice machine at Mela is in need of cleaning. There is black mold in contact with the water and ice. Again, no points were deducted. Mela's owner tells us, quote, "This is a challenging business, and local businesses are good for our community. We have healthy and good food, and we are proud of our score. People make mistakes on occasion, and we work hard to improve things." Sunny Point Cafe on Haywood Road received an A grade on their last 3 inspections, but the manager didn't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry, I don't really have time today, buddy.
Sunny Point's latest inspection was last September. An inspector noted the restaurant must clean and sanitize the ice machine frequently to prevent mold growth. No points were deducted, even though that same violation was noted back in June.
I am not aware of a foodborne illness linked to mold or pink slime growing in an ice machine.
We also found Sunny Point was cited for having a problem with flies during their last 3 inspections. In September, the restaurant was warned, do not place fly strips over food or food prep areas. 1 point was deducted. We found the restaurant had a point deducted for fly violations in all 3 of their last inspections. In June, the inspector wrote, Sunny Point must make sure dead insects and insect fragments are prevented from falling on exposed food.
So fly strips over food prep areas, you're just going to get 1 point and that's it.
I was not there to witness the inspection.
But it says it right here, and that's the 3rd time.
Okay.
Salsa Restaurant on Patton Avenue has also maintained an A grade, scoring a 93 last September.
Yeah, I can go ahead and tell you, we're going to do no comment.
During Salsa's last inspection, the manager was warned to clean the diaper changing table immediately. Debris from question marks was on it. No points were deducted for this.
Points should be deducted.
Why weren't they?
It may have been the first time that they saw that problem.
The inspector did take off 1.5 points after finding pink mold on the shield of the ice machine. This was listed as a repeat violation. Another repeat violation was noted, stating windows must have a fly curtain or fan for the prevention of insects. We found inspectors have been citing Salsa for more than a year for that same violation, and each time they only deducted 1 point.
So even though it shows up on the last several inspections, there's no enforcement?
The enforcement is deducting the points on the inspection report.
And coming up tonight at 11, we expose a series of problems with the way that county inspectors are scoring local restaurants. Plus, we'll show you what violations we found when we paid a visit to these restaurants unannounced. And you may be surprised by the reaction we got by some of these managers. That's coming up tonight at 11. Live in downtown Asheville, Mike Mason, News 13.